The stream is live.
Did it go live?
Yep.
So it says.
Uh-oh.
Can they see us?
I think so. Well, hey, can you guys see us?
No chat at all going on here that I can see.
Oh, they can see us. Okay. Well, let me turn this down so I can at least keep up with the chat. Hey, everyone. Thank you for, hey, Chris, Rick, Bob. How are y'all? Thank you for coming. What is this show?
If you want to highlight what they're saying, Matt, click on their comment.
Oh, that's
Okay.
perfect. There
you go.
Good.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Hey, Chris. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Uh-oh. What's going on here now?
Yes. Good evening, Salt Car fans. Thank you, Layton. Oh, this is a lot, huh? I don't know how you did this all the time, Dan. Hats off to you, buddy.
The secret is you just go in the room and get it all set up when you're not live, you know? Like when I put all those little ads and stuff and my opening and that kind of thing. I just preload it up when you got time. So that way when you get here, it's already loaded and ready for you and all you need to do is start your live. It's okay. It becomes easier and easier, you know what I mean? Like, look, you just learn how to highlight the things there. That's pretty good.
It's funny you say that because when I was bouncing back and forth, but right before you got on and Fish and I had gone and got something to drink, I thought to myself, I may need to do a live stream at some point just to test and figure all this out.
Just to check it out, yeah, for sure, man. And most people do too. They'll set up just a private stream where they'll just stream privately. Say you just do a direct link to Robert, where only Robert would be able to see it.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you. It's a pretty awesome deal. I tell you what, getting those 500, and it'll probably go down to 498 or 499 tonight. As soon as they find out I have 500, they'll be like, "Whoa!
Oh, we can't have that. Whoa,
let's go hit it down." Yeah. So.
That's
hey,
funny.
Lawns.
Able to write something in there? Let's see. There we go. I'm never on this side. I'm always over there. Sure. All right. Busy. Everybody make sure to hit the thumbs up, please. Thank you.
Now, how do I... Okay. How do I do this? Wait, that's not me.
Congratulations. Everybody make sure to congratulate Matt. He's just got his 500th subscriber. So congratulations, Matt. Absolutely fantastic. Kick ass.
Thank you, Dan. How do I...
Thanks for joining us, Chuck. What's up?
How do I make moderators?
You can't do that. You got to do that through YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, you set that up on your channel, and then it just appears here in this as well.
Okay. Let me see. Hey, Chuck. Thanks for coming. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Tom. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good night for a chat, for sure.
What do you guys want to talk about?
Well, how about we talk about that controller situation that I've already said?
Let's do that.
Yeah. All right. So,
how do I make this guy there, though?
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
All right. So, everybody knows that I've recently gotten into a little bit of 132. and I stupidly forgot to order controllers, thinking that the digital controllers would be the same as the analog ones, and of course this is not the case. So what ended up happening was Raul from Conquest Racing was kind enough to lend me a set that he had separate. Now the problem with it was the batteries in it are rechargeable batteries, but they were refusing to recharge. They hadn't been charged for so long that they just went dead, and it's almost like it's sort of my only problem about the Victory 400 set by Auto World is the wireless controllers, and they're going to die. And I've always said that Auto World has no plan for it right now, none at all. But what I did find with Carrera was Carrera does have a plan for it. So what ended up happening was I had to order 2 brand new Carrera rechargeable batteries for the digital wireless controllers from France. So France was where I got the best deal. Yeah, well, like I just said, Chuck, I would be kind of skeptical. It will last a while. You'll get Matt's still using his, as far as I know. How's that going for you, Matt? Are you still using yours?
Yes, I still, but I don't know if I would. I mean, there's one of them that's got pretty good wear on it, and it does need to charge longer than the other ones. But it's hard to say.
But this would be my only problem with, like I said before, these are really my only problem with these sets. I really like the fact that Auto World has these 2 choices now. The Victory Lane was at 400, and the 4x4 Rally, is it? I could be wrong, but they're both large sets, and they both have the wireless controllers. So I just wanted to bring that up. For a 10-year-old grandson, Chuck, this is the wireless controllers is probably something you want, because that way he can't rip the controller right off or rip the track off the table or whatever. It's a wireless controller, and it'll work good for kids for sure. Now with longevity, that's a whole nother situation.
I have 5 kids, Chuck, and that's my little ones. That's the main reason I got it, was for the 2 little ones, because I had Auto World Track, the Le Mans set, and then the California Cruising set, and they would, they do their running thing with it. So
yeah.
And it's still good for that, and I still have it set up, and we'll still run it. But I've been running with these boys long enough to know that for the kids, it's perfect. It really is. It's perfect. Yeah. But for the heavy enthusiasts, you probably want to go with what Dan was talking about, or some of the other controllers. There's a lot of options. There really is.
Yeah. See, you could go with the. I know everybody's surrounding our channels has all got theirs already.
Thank you, man.
But I finally let me just click this off here so we can actually see what I'm looking at, or what everyone should be looking at. There we go. Okay. So it finally arrived. For those who don't know, this is my DeFalco 505D controller. I haven't opened it yet, but I could probably do that right this second.
Do it. We'll have a little opening party.
Let's have a look. Oh man.
At least with a controller like that, you can run anything you want.
Oh, I like that green.
Nice.
And it's got the alligator clips. So these are the new wires. He was. Oh, these are nice. Yeah, these are definitely different than the ones the other guys got. It's this really nice. It kind of has a vinyl feel on it, kind of rubbery vinyl. I don't know how to say it. Just feels really good. Nice and comfortable.
Oh, man. And what Where do you get that, Dan?
I actually ordered this from Jim at DeFalco Controllers. A few people in my Discord were lucky enough. What had happened was I contacted Jim one day about a controller that I was willing to purchase, and I was able to get a small deal for the people on my Discord as well. So there was a few other people who Jim actually gave a really generous, I would say, discount to. So I want to thank Jim at DeFalco Controllers for sure. Absolutely, brother. You did an absolutely fantastic job with hooking everybody up. Not a sad face in the house. I believe everybody was as happy as I am right now. So and hey, the color selection is awesome. Never mind about what it can do. We all know they're the best. That's why we buy them. It's the colors. He's got so many colors. I love that. So the next one I would get would be the purple one, of course, and that would be for Irene. And of course, now I'll need the. You see, I'm not sure if DeFalco makes the digital Carrera digital one. I know they make the DD302, which is an analog controller, but I don't think.
I believe that it's called the Genius of Genius.
Is that the one? It's because we need the button for the switch over. That's the problem, right?
Yeah, the DeFalco, the button for the switches.
I don't think they have that button.
They don't.
I even I sent Jim a message and asked him about it. He hasn't gotten back to me, so I looked around. I can't find one with. So it's very possible I may have to go to the second. Yeah, it's probably going to be the Ramjet one. I like that one. It looks simple. It's only going to be like, I don't know. I'm Canadian, so for me, it's going to be like $150. If you're American, there'll be no cost on the shipping, and you'll get it for like $80. But either way, it's still worth the purchase. Yeah, but like I said, I got the batteries for the rechargeable batteries coming for the Carrera cordless controllers. And of course, that brings us back to the wireless controllers by Auto World. The exact same thing's going to happen. There's nothing different. And the only problem I have is Auto World does not have an exit strategy for them. They just don't. Has anybody heard talking of rechargeable batteries for the controllers in Auto World? I haven't. I have my nose or ears to the rail, and I haven't heard a lick of it, because when I first came across this problem with the Carrera controllers, that was only last week. You know what I mean? So I'm realizing, oh my gosh, Carrera's had these controllers a lot longer than Auto World has, right? Carrera's had these wireless controllers for like, I could be wrong, but I want to say 10 years. I'm not an expert. Of course, if Raul was here, he can correct me on this, but let's just say 10 years. And Auto World just came out with them 2 years ago, we'll say at maximum. So I don't know how long the controllers will, plus the battery in the controllers, the Carrera controllers is much bigger too.
And you can remove it, right?
Yes. That's what I had. It's got that one of those little white connectors. You know, you just pull it apart.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so everybody knows there's none of that here. Yeah, I got to fight with the camera.
And I bet it's got some sort of special screw too. Like a triangular screw or something that the average person wouldn't have. Yeah.
Oh, like the new cars, transmissions, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta love the corporations.
I really hope that all I have to say is I really hope that Auto World is actually thinking about what's going to be happening.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately they've been working on that for a
couple
long
years
time.
Well,
give it at least 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't think the more disturbing thing is if they had any type of headway or leeway, I think we would have gotten a little word or leak or something out of it.
Right.
but it's just a
teaser.
stalemate, and they just seem to want to, like we said. I mean, there's not a lot of R&D into actual technologies. It's just bodies and bodies and bodies.
Well, look at the holographic theater. They had a teaser for that, and the app didn't even work. And they still had a teaser for it. They still put out a teaser. So you're telling me that if they have some sort of timing system, there's no teaser for it whatsoever, no concept drawing, no this, no that. Like, it just seems really sketchy. It's like we're building a car, but you guys can't see it.
Right. I agree. And I agree with Bob there too. It's just not a priority. You know.
I mean, 3 years for a timing system is a little. I mean,
It's silly. It's a
Well,
programming
everybody
issue.
else. Go ahead. Sorry, Dan.
It's just a programming issue. That's all.
When everybody else has one.
Right.
I mean, Carrera's got one for all their sizes. Electric's got one. AFX got one. Polycar. I mean, you name it. You know, SCX had wireless controllers a long time ago.
Yeah.
Of course, they went and poo-pooed on their customers twice, but
well, SCX also had problems with their digital system too. So, from what I understand, Carrera is the only company that 100% has the digital thing figured out, where there's no issues with errors or tracks not switching. In fact, I even like that. Carrera offers the jumpers, man. You can buy them in a pack.
Yeah, they do. Well, they have
like all the why
banks.
can't they do this for AFF? I'm sorry, why can't they do this for HO? It's just a matter of now they're just hand over fisting over the money for the cars, but they're not thinking that the track needs to change, right? It's the 60s track, like I was saying. The width for the track is still the same. How they've laid the track out is slightly different, as we've known, but literally it's still the same width. Now, let's just, for instance, what does Carrera do? Well, Carrera's biggest seller is right now the 143. And that's because of the kids. Carrera North America sells twice as many slot car tracks to kids as they do adults. That's what the director for North American sales said. So that's pretty impressive when you think about it. So Carrera's doing the right thing and pushing kids in the right direction. HO is not, right?
No.
Carrera has the whole entire 143 line, and there's got to be about 30 or 40 decent sets. 30 or 40 of them. And what does AFX or Auto World have?
Well, they're
see?
And the price here's the price point for me is the big deal, because first off, 143 is cheaper than HO. And if you throw in everything you're getting and what you're racing and what you're doing, Carrera, now you're not going to get a Revo slot. You're not going to get one of these higher tier cars. But a lot of these digital Carrera cars can be had for right around $50 to $55. Now, like I said, you're not going to get these super duper cars, but you could be in the game.
Actually, the whole entire like the regular line of Carrera 132nd digital are all like $75 Canadian. So that's like $50 American for you all day long, which is the same as an HO slot car, and to me, it feels like, Carrera wants to, get themselves in the game a little bit more. So, hey, how you doing, brother?
What's up?
Good to see you.
Good to see all of you.
Awesome.
How are you, sir? Thank you for coming.
No worries, man. Hello, Robert.
Evening.
First time.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So
I was just telling them about I was just doing the comparison between the Carrera wireless controllers, the problems that we just encountered, and the problems that Auto World's going to encounter with their wireless controllers right away. Auto World doesn't have an exit strategy like Carrera does, where you can just buy another battery. Auto World doesn't have that. There's no access to their wireless controllers at all. So as soon as they go dead, that'll be the end of it. And if you ask me, I think they're stacking dime-sized batteries, or like, the like
But batteries.
the puck-sized ones, yeah. And I think they're stacking them, which means they're not going to last that long. And once they're dead, that'll be it. So that'll be a bit of a shame because, yeah, like we were saying, like for the kids, they're perfect because they can't rip the cord off, they can't rip the track off the table, can't. So
Yeah.
yeah.
How are you, Roll?
I'm good. I'm good. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Just catching up with some stuff.
Oh,
Busy
you're all
man.
good.
Yeah, not so much. Just daughter. Had to do some stuff for her. But, yeah. So yeah, the 1/43rd scale cars. They have quite a bit of detail from Carrera, and if you combine that with the SCX stuff that's coming out and already available, you can get a pretty decent 1/43rd lineup. So definitely like it's a really good system. We'll see. I wish that you could pair your like more advanced controllers to the 1/43rd system because right now you can't, and when you do, it doesn't work really well. The brakes and you don't have sensitivity control. So that's something that hopefully they fix. I think that's been always been the issue with 1/43rd. Is very much a toy kind of system as opposed to a more advanced level. Like at least with Echo, you guys can play with advanced controllers. You have control on a lot more things on the Echo side of things. Yeah, exactly, right. But you can't pair that to the 1/43rd and get full control because the controller doesn't work really well there, right?
Yeah, Chris has already tried Southern Slot Racing, and he said it just takes off.
Yeah, it's not doing what's supposed to do on the Carrera side of things. So, yeah, that would be something that maybe I'm pretty sure that you could hack the system and get it to work because if they've done it on the 1/32nd side of things with like the Omni slot box and the axle box and all that, then I see it happening. It could be done on the Carrera Go side of things as well, but yeah, the cars are fantastic though. I mean, they are very, very detailed and a lot of fun to drive. So
Yeah, Sunday Slots has the Minions in 143 right now for $12.
That's a good price.
Yeah.
Bob, about once a week, maybe more. Ben and Kobe, the 12-year-old boy, and the 4-year-old, the one who was just melting down over a game of Uno. They're always down to race. My daughter, it usually ends up being something she's trying to get out of trouble, and she'll be like, "Hey, Dad, you want to race?" Something like that. So, and my oldest son, he's never really liked the HO. He always liked the bigger ones, but he's a big video game guy. He plays with that Rust and some other games a bunch. So, and he likes the D&D more probably than slot cars.
Oh yeah, man! I've been watching some guy. He paints those little figurines or whatever for the games, Warhammer and stuff.
yeah, I had 20 like. Well, I've painted over 10,000 models for Warhammer, so
yeah,
I know.
I love watching those. They're so good. It gives you such great ideas.
Yeah, I was ranked in Canada #1 for 5 years, Dan, for Warhammer. That's
wow,
yeah.
Wow.
So,
hey, Jack, thanks for joining us, brother. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Jack. Thanks for coming. So yeah, that's it's speaking of HO, where's that thing?
So what do you think with the track size, bro? What do you think? You think we could do digital with HO?
I don't see why not. I know that so there's a universal system for digital called Oxygen, and that's the universal system that Polycar is now going to adopt for its digital system.
Oh.
And when they race like 24-hour Le Mans digital and all that. They use the oxygen system. It's a very robust system. You can run up to 24 cars on it.
Hey, Daniel.
It's like a pro grade system, right? It's called and I'm pretty sure it's a universal system that can be adapted to different tracks. You just need the pieces to go with it, I guess. And that, don't quote me on that. I'm not, up to speed completely with oxygen. I've heard about it a lot. I know that it's used on professional grade racing. I know it's adaptable. I don't know if it can be adapted for HO or not, or if it can be adapted for other track types. But I'm pretty sure it's a universal system. So. Um, at the end of the day, I don't know if you guys know of this YouTuber called Lunch King.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you looked at his track is a full routed wood track, but it's digital. It's got crossovers, it's got overtaking, it's got everything. So if you look at his track very well, it's got a fully integrated digital system on a wood track. So I'm pretty sure if that can be done, then anything else can be done as well. You just need
Right.
to get the right pieces for it, right? Obviously, you need your crossovers. The main thing about digital is your digital crossovers, right?
Crossovers, yeah.
Are you talking about, Raul, the guy Jimmy, and he shows underneath his track where his switches are?
Yeah.
And he's literally got like a bent nail that he's pulled back around and tooled it. Okay.
Yeah. So Lunch King, like he's
that guy was blowing everybody away 3 decades ago.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So I don't think there's a problem creating a digital system. It's just who's going to support it, who's going to step up and create all the universal like crossover systems and everything else that goes with it, right?
Right.
So,
because that's very well the reason why the track size isn't changing either. Because if one changes the track size, the other will just copy it.
Yeah, so I like the fact like Scale Auto is releasing their new track system, right? But they've built it in such a way that it will integrate to Carrera. So you can actually buy adapter plates for the Carrera system, and the Scale Auto track will connect to the Carrera system, right? So I like that whole thing of, like I said, I wish the stock car community came more together and create more universal stuff.
Yeah.
Which integrated more with each other, as opposed to saying, "Oh, okay, I'm on a Carrera system, I'm on a Polycar system, I'm on an AFX system." Getting it more so it's more universal, where they can integrate with each other, taking away the digital system, making it universal. These are all things that will help us get more on an even plane, because the main difference that I find coming from wargaming to here, like I always said, and that's why I created the GRL, was the main difference was that there was no standardization. So when you race, there's no standardization. One track is different from another track, which makes it very difficult for people to adapt and race. And that's why like creating universal systems is better, whether you do your best that you can. But I think that's what the slot car community needs more. It's more manufacturers working together to create universal systems, right?
Yeah, I agree, because in the HO world, there's really just two systems that are competing, but they're both exactly the same, pretty much. Quality of the material used to make them might be a little bit different, but otherwise, they're making the same product on our side. But for the larger scale, like you were saying, every company has their own track. Which really means that these companies have been doing all their R&D and all this other stuff, to themselves. Where basically the 60-year-old idea of HO track is just lingering in the background, while now they're just trying to make money by pumping out cars. It doesn't matter which one you're talking about, because they're both doing the exact same thing. AFX or Auto World. The only thing that they're in right now is their hand is in the cookie jar, and they're just building cars.
They have a lot of rights issues too. Certainly.
Well, that's the problem as well too, right? And that's the problem. That's the good thing about the larger scale, is they're after individual companies who will sponsor these cars, and that's how they're able to get these absolutely fantastic liveries, right? These liveries are they're the real deal. They're like what I do with the dragsters, how the liveries are the actual ones. Carrera's doing the exact same thing with all of their cars, all their rally cars, all the DTM cars.
Yeah, so this is my question, right? Like, so Carrera is the cheapest slot car you can buy, right? From the 132nd scale cars. Like, it's one of the cheapest ones. Actually, it is the cheapest one because Collectric's prices have gone up. The
Right.
cheapest car guy, but all their cars are officially licensed.
Yeah.
NSR is not, Riva Slot is not. So if they're paying for the license and that shows you that because they focused on the toy part of it and they built a company around the toy part of it and selling over 1 million sets of the Carrera Go and the toy systems, they're able to leverage that to get licensed product, to get the licenses in. It makes sense, right? Like yet their cars are cheaper. So that's why I'm saying, like, I will support Carrera no matter what, even though the people say that the cars are not the best handling cars or they're not the racing level. But the fact that they are doing all this to license product and get it done properly, as opposed to Polycar or Slotted who had to pull their Ferrari cars off the shelf and rename them as Italian sports cars because they didn't have the license.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Shikes.
Well, and the SCX thing shows us too that we need to support so that we don't lose these manufacturers. And speaking of awesome liveries,
Oh, yeah.
like that, and then I guess this is a 2023 club car. You see that? This damn camera.
Correct. Yeah.
Is that a 55?
That is.
Yeah. 55.
So, but yeah, that's I agree with you 100%, Ro. You have to support those that are actually trying to support the hobby,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like we were talked, like you said, is it Mattel that owns one of the actual hobby brands?
Yeah.
Like, they are big enough company to go out and get licensed product to convert a good toy car line out of your actual sets. If they have Mattel, then they have the leverage to get a lot of the licensing done already. So they should be able to produce the cars. It's just a matter of how valuable is the slot car to their product lineup, right? When they look at their verticals that they want to traverse, is it strong enough? And that's the question. And that's why, like, Travis and everyone is trying to make the slot car community kind of wake up and come out more, because the more we create content, the more we create a buzz, the more Mattel will look at it and say, maybe there's a chance here, right? So I think that's very important right now. Social media is changing a lot of things. So,
well, and Mattel could change the game overnight, just like they did in the the snake and mongoose contracts back in the day. I mean, they would literally change it overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what about the rumors that there's going to be another outfit putting slot cars out? And I can't think of what they are right now. They're a diecast company.
Matchbox or
no.
no.
Give me a minute. No, I can't do that right now. I forget it. It'll come back to me sooner or later.
Yeah, you'll think of it. I actually did hear some rumblings of it, but when you think of the name, let me know, and it'll probably snap to me a little bit more too. But I do remember hearing something about a third party, because I remember thinking, oh, that means there would probably be 4, because I already figured Mattel would have their boots in the game
too. It
too.
left me wondering if maybe they were picking up Mattel's Tyco from
licenses.
I don't know.
D'Agostini, is that the one? Because I think that's what Daniel Thomas put up there. Or Borrego. I don't know.
You guys chat amongst yourself. I have to go deal with a Uno game gone awry.
Uh-oh. Damn.
Is it M2 or something, like M2 or something?
I have no idea. I'm not a diecast toy collector yet.
No,
I say that.
That's why
Yeah. Hey.
Yeah. It's not very hard for me to be converted to anything to collect. It's just got to be a cool car and I'll collect it. So,
Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I love the cars.
Can I interest you in some micro machines?
Micro machines. If my friends got into it, I get into anything. Right now, we're looking at crawlers, RC crawlers. So, yeah, that seems to be the next thing that I'm gonna start getting
what
into.
micro
I think.
machines line do you have, Robert?
Are you talking about the tiny ones?
No, the 1/24th scale crawlers.
Okay,
Yeah.
because they're making them down small as the HO slide cars now.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I mean, it's amazing if you could do that with a car that size. I mean,
What's going on with that mic, Dan?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, that's nice.
Can you hear me in the microphone?
Is that a Samsung?
It's
You
yeah.
Yeah.
Samsung.
I knew it right away.
Why is that? Is that like a good brand?
Yeah, it's a very good podcasting mic. So if you're
is
into
it really?
and it's the best podcasting mic at that price. Like you can't beat it. Yeah.
That's what Irene works at the music store. You have Long and McQuaid's in Toronto as well too.
Yeah.
But that's where she works here. So she got the mic, baby.
Yeah.
It's time for the Catalina wine mixer now.
You betcha.
How far away from y'all do y'all live from each other?
Well, Toronto to Winnipeg is I could drive to BC quicker. It's because of the Great Lakes. If I could drive straight to Toronto, I would be there in like 16 hours. But I could drive to BC in 24 hours. So yeah. But me and Raul, we're talking about maybe getting together in the summertime, and me and Robert have already talked about maybe doing a swing by, and grabbing the crew and having a day of slots or whatever. And now I hear Sunday slots is in Sudbury. So
Sarnia.
Sarnia, pardon me, Sarnia. Yeah, it's all the same to me.
Yeah, I'm heading down there in 2 weeks.
Oh,
On
yeah,
the 25th.
Nice.
I'm heading down there. So
Yeah.
with MP. So MP.
Oh,
Stockhouse.
nice.
Yeah.
Massimo. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes, Chuck, it's full contact in there. Four of them are in there playing Uno. I told them all to get off the stream when Bob said something about freeze frame to make sure it didn't freeze up.
Oh,
The oldest isn't in there. So are you still playing Rust?
oh.
Yeah.
We all know what happens when you play Rust.
I don't know what happens. I'm old, I guess.
Wait, somebody ends up dying unnecessarily.
Oh yeah, they're always talking about somebody's taking their stuff or they're raiding. There's a bunch of raiders or whatever. So yeah, whatever. How's MP? Has he been good?
Yeah, busy with life, I guess. Changed jobs, so everything changes when you change jobs, and your kind of whole scheduling and everything goes out of whack. So he needs some time, but yeah, we still stay in touch. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, I look forward to doing more collabs with him soon. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, it would be nice. I actually like multiple panels like this are I think you can get a lot more out there. It feels like when you're just one person, everything takes so long to get out.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier when everyone can share their opinion, because then it's just not my opinion, it's our opinions,
Well, And if you struggle too, and you don't necessarily know, you kind of lose your pace. There's a couple other guys that can kind of keep it flowing.
Yeah, right.
And that's kind of what you want, especially when content is you want it to kind of flow, so everybody kind of understands and they have a nice time and it's informative.
Yeah, I find it more entertaining personally. I think when there's more than one person.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Fish, you okay over there? So, hey Raul, can I ask you something?
Sure.
Do you know much about that oxygen system?
Not enough to be an authority on it.
Yeah, me either. I've read a little bit about it, but it basically just works off sensors and.
Yeah, which is the same way the Carrera works off of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So at the end of the day, it's just it's an IR sensor that will read the car and operate a switch. That's it, right?
Yeah.
And we already know there's enough room underneath the HO slot car shell to put what's needed under there. So, but that's another problem too, right? It's not. We're just talking at this point. We're only talking about manipulating the track so that it will allow us to turn. But we're not even talking about the fact that the cars need to have the IR sensor in there as well, and that would have to be the first step. If the car doesn't have some sort of reader, and it doesn't have to be like Carrera where it's just a little optic eye or whatever. It could be like a card reader or a grocery scanner. You know what I mean? Like not that big, of course, but it could be a little one. Where you pass over a strip on the track or whatever, and it notifies your controller that you may want to change lanes. But it would be interesting to see, that's for sure. That's all I'd have to say. If they did something like totally copy what Carrera has going on, then I think they would probably have something that works because you're only making it smaller. And the actuator that engages the switch track on the Carrera is like an actuator where it actually pushes a pin to move the track over. So you could do that in HO, no problem at all. It just has to be a little bit smaller. That's all. The mechanism can even be the same size. It's the large pin that's pushing that piece over on the Carrera that's big. It's like a pencil, from what I remember correctly from looking at it.
Well, it's time for track design is what it is.
Yeah, it's a genius idea. And see, this is the reason why I don't think HO has started that, right? Because it's like what I said. So AFX is going to put all their money into making these switch tracks. They're going to put it out, and then what? Really, like what? 2 months later, Auto World comes out with a way to actuate it slightly differently so it doesn't impede with their patent pending. But there's certainly more than one way to actuate a piece of switch track, right? I mean, like what we were talking about, USA 1, they didn't actuate a switch track. They just had you put the trucks in reverse. That's why they had shoes on both sides, the front and back of those vehicles.
See, here's an issue that you're gonna find with the actual cars because they move so fast. By the time they trigger the IR sensor, that switch they've gone blown past the switch. So that's the problem that you're gonna have with the HO right now. And even 132nd, there are issues with 132nd cars being at very fast speed. Sometimes they miss the track change. Right. So it's not a foolproof system. So I think that will be a big issue with HO because by the time it triggers the IR sensor, you need that switch probably 3 track lengths down, all right, for it to actually trigger the change.
Yeah.
Right. And then how does that imbalance the HO cars too? So there's a lot of things that I think that have to be considered. It's not just making that switch over. It's about maybe the switch lane is maybe 4 track lengths long and the switch is a couple of track lengths ahead, so it gets tricky with the speed of the car.
So what if we had like a manual switcher, Raul, where for HO, where instead of it being on the trigger or on the gun, what if it was like literally on the table where you push the button
I've seen videos with guys doing that.
Yeah, in anticipation of the next lap coming around, because you're right, too fast. They're moving too fast.
but here's the thing.
I want to turn here.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Dan. You got to understand, with digital, it allows two cars to travel on the same track. So what happens if somebody switches the track and there's two cars on it, and he's gone, and the next guy gets shot off into some place because he's hard on the trigger, right? Like these are all the little things that have to be considered.
Yeah.
That's why triggering on the car has to happen, not the track itself, right? Because the beauty about digital is that you don't have to run a 4-lane system. See, with Echo, it's not so bad. You guys still get a 4-lane system. You can get an 8-lane system. It's actually okay. When it comes to the bigger track sizes, where it gets difficult, because when you put down a Carrera track, like if you look at my layout, it's on a 16-foot by 8-foot table, and I don't really have a long layout. It's only 70 feet. Yes, I could get 105 feet, but it looked like a spaghetti track, right? And then when I put all my borders on, like I have, you really don't see any of the table if I put all my borders. It's like very little to see. So when you have a track that size, and that's only a 2-lane track, it's not even a 4-lane track. That's when you need to get more creative and say, okay, digital makes sense now. I need to have 6 cars running. I have only 2 lanes. I need them to be able to switch, right? So that's something else to consider on why you need digital, right? The immersiveness of digital is cool, but I've seen immersiveness done on analog systems where there are pit lanes on the analog systems as well. I've seen it done before, but it's a matter of ingenuity sometimes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and we need that. And that's why what you're talking about, what Travis is talking about, we'll just keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And maybe one day Mattel or this other company diecast company we're talking about, maybe they'll enter the game and or maybe one of us will enter the game and 3D print or GRL. Who knows?
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think I think the immersiveness could be taken to a next level with we being able to do like first person level driving, where you like what I'm working on right now is virtual reality cameras with cars, right? So I just got some virtual reality cameras in, and I'm going to install them in a couple of cars and see how hard it is to drive and what the experience is like. And if you can pair that, So something that the RC world has been doing, which I think is really fantastic, is they're putting virtual reality cameras into the RC cars.
Yeah.
You can log on to your Xbox. You buy the car, you get paired with your Xbox console. So you can sit in your Xbox console on a rig, and somebody takes your car into the real world and puts it down, and you drive your car in the real world using
so
a
us
rig.
four could race in the same event at the same place
from the comfort of your home through your console. Right now, you're talking about merging the game system with slot cars. Now, slot cars not as cool as like a crawling an RC through like rocks, And then the problem with the slot cars, they move so fast, like you probably get a headache, like sitting in front of the console trying to drive. So
I've seen some camera work with HO slot cars, and it's pretty hard to watch.
Yeah, well, I was watching I was watching Steve and Cheryl from Shen RC race their Echos, and they were getting like whiplash, right? Like the cars move so fast, they're getting whiplash. I wouldn't want that if I was racing, right? So, there's so much to consider. Like I said, it seems like one thing that really got me when I got into this hobby is how deep and how layered it is.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a simple hobby. When you think about it, it's like it seems like a simple hobby. You put a car on a rails,
track,
positive, negative, and you drive it. But when you actually break it down and start to strip it apart and forget even the terrain and the modeling and all that, just the cars themselves.
Yeah.
It gets very technical, right? And small changes affect the cars in big ways because they're micro affected, right? These are not So it gets very technical, and the manufacturers have to be within compliance on so many levels for them to have a viable product to take to market. It's not like, a one-off 3D printed car that you can put together and sell it, right? And you're successful. They're producing lines, right? They have to keep their production lines busy, right? Like they got lines, they got factories. Like it's very hard for them to make major change because it's a lot of tooling and a lot of different things are required. So we demand a lot from the manufacturers, and maybe on the HO side, that you said they haven't changed in over decades, which is maybe a bad thing, and maybe they need to revamp that. But I think I'm seeing like more of it happening now, right?
Yeah, Anthony.
Like I have to say, like on the 132nd, things are happening. The manufacturers are retooling. They are opening up bigger facilities. I mean, Polycar just opened a very big manufacturing facility, all new laser guided machines and everything to make proper tooling to create better cars, right, for us. So it's a major change, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I don't know. I think, when you talked about too much change in the slot car world, you're talking about going into RC, really.
Yeah, exactly.
That's eventually that's where it has to end up. I mean, I don't see it going anyplace else, right?
Yeah.
Well, just talking about that. So I over the last weekend, I visited someone close to me who I didn't even know was a big slot car guy. He's a drag slot car racer, right? So he creates and fabricates his own drag cars out of piano wire, and he gets 125th bodies and paints them. They're gorgeous, and I'm gonna do a whole interview with him. And the funny thing about that is he was talking to me about me getting into oval racing with RCs. So I don't know if you know about this, but RCs are actually getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper to the point now that this oval track racing that he was talking to me about, is done indoors on a carpet track, and whole system, everything included, car, controller, everything is $300. Like it's not a big barrier to entry anymore. I remember when the RC cars were like in the thousands of dollars when you started to get into like racing gear. So if the RC world continues to come down in price, then we're in for a rude awakening on the slot car side of things too, right? So
Well, I have a tiny RC car.
187 is that one you have?
I think some of the guys have seen it, but I mean I think I paid around $80 for that, and that included the transmitter and everything. So I mean, if the price of slot cars keeps going up, though, you can't justify buying a slot car anymore.
Well, and Fowler has some very awesome and neat little car systems for their train sets, and now some of those guys they have those 187 tractor trailers, remote control tractor trailers, the cars, the minis, the Broncos, all kind of stuff.
Tractors, loaders, all kinds of stuff. Man.
Hey, Raul and Dan, do you guys mind doing something for me?
sure.
Do you guys mind explaining kind of what this is?
Oh, well,
And like the DTM and kind of all that. Does that make sense? What I'm asking, or am I being confused?
yeah, no worries. The easiest thing for you to understand the Global Racing League is go to scgrl.com. So scgrl.com. If you go there, I've broken down everything about this league. So the thing about the league, and this is an idea that I conceptualized and I've kind of put it to action, and we're currently racing in our current season right now. It's about standardization of racing on a global scale. Now it's hard to do because, like I said to you, all manufacturers have different track types. So the first thing I had to do was get a group of people together, and I put out a posting last year at the beginning of the year saying this year at the beginning of the year in January, I put out the posting saying I'm looking to launch this league. Everyone who's wants to join in, please go fill out the form. And it asked them to select what brand of track they wanted first. So once they selected that, which happened to be Carrera, most of them selected Carrera track. After that, we went out and I looked at the cheapest starter set on Carrera analog, because the reason was with the GRL, because it's time attack, you don't need lane changes, you don't need any of that, you just need a basic analog system.
Yeah.
And we chose the DTM Forever set, which is what Dan just picked up.
Yep.
And that comes with 2 DTM cars and I think about 16 pieces of track, 11 being straight or something like that, 6 being straights or whatever it is. So, and then we decide on a table size, because the one thing that everyone has is space restriction. One thing about this hobby, it's very space intensive, especially at the larger scale. So we had to figure out a footprint size that worked for everyone. Because you got to remember, in Europe is very different from North America. They are very limited on space. So I have some of the races are from Spain. So we figured out a size that worked and was 7 feet by 9 feet. So the GRL track will never be bigger than the 7 foot by 9 foot. So if you can put a 7 foot by 9 foot footprint down, it can be on the floor too. It doesn't matter. And then you can start by buying a DTM Forever set, which is very cheap, and you can enter the GRL league. In the GRL league is the only problem with the GRL league is they want to race 4 classes. So unfortunately, in the car, you get 2 cars. You can race them, one as a GT3 car and one as a DTM car, but we need 2 more cars. So we picked up Group 5 and Trucksters, because Carrera has Truckster line, which is kind of cool and it's kind of different, and it also gives you a challenge. And that's how we started. So based on that, we developed 4 different tracks. It's all done through, if you join the GRL, you get onto I do live calls every month, and we get together and we decide what we're going to do for the league. So it's very much competitor-driven league. It's not like somebody decides in a vacuum and this is the league. We all decide, we all make the rules, we all talk about it, and then I built it all into a software that we can, people can run live their event. So everyone runs their live heat, and you might have seen a lot of them. And if you go to the website, you can see a lot of the heats. And the rules are very simple. You can practice all you want. Once you say you're ready to go, you put your car down on the outside lane and you try and get 10 laps. If you de-slop before 10 laps, that's it. Your run is over. If you get 10 laps, then you qualify for podium. That's it. It's a very simple league. Nothing crazy, no crazy rules. Very easy for you to enter and to participate. And then every year from now, we have a $200 budget allocated for the year. So we decide as a group what that $200 will buy for next year, for next season. So that's how we operate. There is a floating trophy that goes out. So if you win, there's a plaque and the trophy gets shipped to you, and you hold it until the next person wins, and you send the trophy over to the next winner. That's it. It's a simple kind of program.
Awesome. Thank you. I know I'm interested in joining it too. And I shared here it is right here. I shared the link to the actual website. So if anybody wants to click on it, you can. It's really pretty awesome. I've looked at it a lot, and I follow. I followed quite a few of the guys in the league as they post their times in week 1, week 2. It's really
bottom line is just fun. I mean, if you bought a set, and this is the way I looked at it, if somebody gave you a set during Christmas and you put it up and you raced during Christmas and put it away, this gives you a reason to take it out and run it again. Because at the end of the day, that's all it is. Right. Just a little bit of track and this bike.
Joe.
That's it.
Gotta kick some ass now.
Yeah.
This is the first time I use this thing.
We're just here to chew bubble gum and kick ass.
That's right.
So that's pretty awesome.
And the cool thing about it is you can adapt it to any system, right? You could start right now it's Carrera SC Carrera GRL. You could have a Polycar GRL. You could have different people with different tracks get involved. So
Well,
you
you can
can
have an HOGRL, you know?
you can have an actual
You get your-
exactly. You can do the whole thing is standardizing a racetrack and standardizing the cars and getting people, because I feel the one thing that I felt
immersion, what
was
you're talking about. It's immersion.
the main thing that I felt was the problem between a hobbyist slot car and a beginner slot car is where do you go race, right? So the hobbyist starts at home, and then when he goes to club level, he's blown out of the water because they're so advanced, right? So this was a way to bridge that gap in between. Like if you really like this hobby and you love racing, then you can use the SGGRL and get to your laps in and see how good you are and develop your skill set, and then move over to the club tracks, and then you feel more at home because you've tested your metal against other people. So
Yeah.
this is not a fully robust like commercial track kind of racing system, but it's a bridge in between.
Yeah, it's a great idea. We all know the three HO people here. We certainly know that we've been talking about standardizing this kind of thing for a long time.
I can remember when the three of us were on the Discord on Monday nights, just the three of us, way over a year ago, talking about this very same thing.
You see, but for us, Raul, it's not like for us we would go by, because all the tracks are the same.
I'm gonna mute. My wife's here real quick. You guys go on.
Tell her
we all said hi.
All right, so for us, it would kind of be like, okay, this is how we're building the track. You're gonna need 6 straights. You're gonna need your 90s kind of thing, right? Where it seems to work the same for Carrera, but we're for Carrera on the way you've done it is you've chosen the set, which is probably going to be the best set for the track that's made. Am I correct? Yeah.
So the reason why we chose a set, Dan, wasn't because I think we all had it. It was just a way, so if somebody new wanted to enter, they could just go buy the set. Because let's just say somebody didn't have any HO stuff. So the reason why we chose it out of a set was it doesn't mean that you had to go buy the set. If you had extra pieces, just put the extra pieces together, as long as you could actually match the pieces up to what the set had. So what we did was we entered the inventory as an inventory, but we didn't say it was a DTM set. We just said this is the inventory, and the best way to get this inventory is by buying the DTM set. It was the quickest point of entry.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why I'm saying, like, even on the HO side, you choose a set, but you can say these are the pieces from the set, and people who have extras can just use whatever they have.
That's right.
For you guys, it's standardizing on radius of turns, right? So it's like your 15, your 30s, or whatever it is, like your inches of turns. So you can say, like, you need X amount of pieces of 30, you need X amount of pieces of this.
Yeah.
And this, if you buy this set, you're close to it. If you buy this set and this expansion pack, you have everything you need for the league, right? But that's the reason to standardize around the set.
Right. Yeah, that's a great idea. It's a really good idea when you think about it. Plus, that set is really not super expensive. That set pretty much allows anybody to get their foot in the door. That's the reason why I bought it, because man, just hanging out with all you guys in the last little while, and then I went and did a silly thing and bought that super awesome car.
Yeah.
The Warsteiner.
Yeah, that one.
It's directly in front of me. I'm staring at it all day now.
No,
can't run the bitch.
Test. She won't start. There's no
testing. I feel like I should be eating this thing.
Is it digital?
The microphone?
That microphone can go USB or XLR, either way.
No, the remote slot.
Oh no, it's not.
I'll have to convert it.
Not yet, Matt. Not yet.
Yeah.
Stu, it will be.
It will be.
It will be.
Can you do a highlight on my screen there, Matt?
Yes, somehow, some
You see where
way.
yeah, there you go. Oh, you know what happened? I tried putting the mirrors on, and I think the hole's slightly plugged with paint. Is that a possibility?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it
Yeah.
just wouldn't push in there, and I was afraid I was going to snap it off before I even got it on.
Yeah, just poke it through with a little bit of the either a paper clip or something. So open it up a
Okay.
bit.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to do it until I at least talked to somebody who had more knowledge than, my little green belt.
I think I have a bunch of knowledge sitting in boxes over there.
That's why I waited till today.
So are you excited to run your Echo on the big track?
Yeah. Actually, that's one of the things I'm pretty pumped about. It turns out that we're going to be getting rid of the pool table this summer. So the unfortunate side of that is I built Slot Valley Racing on a $12,000 pool table. So we're finally getting rid of the pool table. And so Slot Valley Racing, I'm going to have to tear it all down.
What about the bridge?
What's that?
If that bridge goes anywhere, I'd like to move the bridge of London over to Arizona if you ever sell it.
Which one's that?
Your Slot Valley Bridge. You know how the bridge, the London Bridge, is in Arizona, right? You guys know that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do with that? You gonna keep all that, or what are you doing?
Literally, you know what ended up happening, because the bridge was really only made for a 2-lane track. I ended up tearing it apart, and I literally just glued the bridge without a base on it. I just glued the whole thing to the side of the track. So if you want, I'll tear them down and send them to you if we have a reason to send you something. If you want that, they look cool. I spray painted them silver and shit and that kind of stuff. But
absolutely.
I'll have tons of stuff track and all that thing. But I will be transferring all my greenery, all the trees. I'm going to try the best I can to do something like Slot Valley on the large scale. I'm going to try. It's not going to be my final workup. We all know this is going to be my final workup. The tables are already set up like this. All I need to do is just literally put the track down on it now. So what'll happen is, you see at the back here where it says pit lane, the pit lane will be on the bottom. So there, it's up against the wall right here, and it's going to be 2 levels, just big enough to put one of those trucks underneath it in case I ever buy one. And what'll happen is up here will be the top, and it'll go down into this area and come back around, and it'll go underneath the bridge, sort of underneath the top track. It'll go underneath that and then come back around. I don't know if I want to squeeze this area in here a little bit more to make it more technical, or to keep it more rounded so that the cars can escape with speed up the hill, because there'll be a little bit of a slight hill there. Not much, but a little bit. Here's a better view of it. This is what it would look like, because the track would be on top of itself right there.
Yeah. Have you used the track binder on it yet?
Yeah, I've tried that. It only goes up to 20 pieces though.
The auto. Yeah, but the other one that I sent you is free.
Oh, I'll have to double check that one.
The web-based one is free, and you can use that, and you can build your track layout.
Yeah.
It's good because it will give you an inventory count as well.
Well, okay, that's cool. That's what I need too. But as a HO person, HO is when you're building is all about trial and error. So I'm okay doing it that way right now. At least I'll get to learn what pieces I'll need, because there's all those little 1/3 pieces too, and
yeah, you'll end up like you don't use a lot of the 1/3. Like those are just fillers to get your things to match up. What you really want then is a variety of your turns, because the 1x60s that you get in the startup box, we don't use them.
Those are our 90s.
I got they're it's very rare that we use them, and if we do, they're very technical, and most of the cars don't like them. So kind of limit that on the track. The turn that you're going to use the most is a 2x30. Yeah, so the 2x30 is the turn that you're going to use the most. The 2x30 and 3x30 give you nice swooping S's and stuff. So yeah, that's what you wanna get in line with, is more curves. The 4 and 15 is the widest radius curve you can get,
Right. I think
and I think that curve is 8 feet.
8 feet. Sunday Slot Cars was measuring it, I think, the other day, and he was measuring the banked.
The bank turn, the 2 and 30 and 3 and 30 bank turns.
3 and 30 bank curves, he said, was like
Yeah.
6 feet or something. So
Yeah, it's 7 point something. I have all that. Yeah.
Night, Tom.
that's huge.
I tell you what, the
Thanks,
last
Tom.
time I told Dan this, but the last time I was over at is this the right one? Yeah, I was over at Jim C's house. We were running those HO cars on the Carrera Digital. And it just blows your mind, really. And then you sell that pink pig shirt at Conquest Layer. You know what I'm talking about, Raul?
Yeah.
That's the car, the 124 car he had me drive the last time I was over there, because I'd never driven the 124 before. And if I get a little bit of money, I just want to get that pink pig shirt just because I had such a good time with it.
Yeah, that's my favorite. Like the Porsche 911 RSR is my favorite car. So I like the GT3. Out of all my GT3 cars, that's my favorite car. I have it in every single anytime I can pick one up, I pick it up. So I have a
Nice.
lot of them. Yeah, always around.
Well, we have actually gone a few 15 minutes over about. I guess we'll get ready to call it here in a few minutes if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah, there you go.
Or we can
No.
keep going. It's up to y'all. I'm good all night. I like that.
Yeah, this is the GT, the club car, but this is a scale auto. So this has got the racing chassis.
Hey, Matt, you see the square at the top of his box?
Uh-huh.
Click on that. There you go.
Uh,
Okay, show us now, Raul. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
Nice.
see,
I like that they put the lettering on the tires.
Yeah, there's a lot of detail. Yeah, and then this is a racing chassis. So this one got the floating motor pod and everything.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I'm just learning about that lately too. The floating chassis and all that stuff. Apparently, Revo's really big on that. Hey, they have all that gear.
Yeah, Daniel, it answers your question about the scale auto adapter track. I think it's just it converts from a straight piece. So that's what I heard. But Sunday Slot Cars actually has a piece. So I would check with them more than I myself. I haven't actually physically got one of those in yet, but definitely something I'm going to explore in the new year is bringing over the Scale Auto track and testing it, since Scale Auto is my favorite brand. And they're made in Barcelona, where my family is. So
Yeah, I've been looking at those ones lately too. Those are some really nice, well-built cars. They remind me of the quality of like NSR. I could be wrong, of course, but they look.
yeah,
like
well, they are equivalent to the NSRs. Like, so when it comes to like they are very, very adaptable for racing. So one of the fastest cars right now, and a lot of people are racing it, is the Viper from Scale Auto, right? The GTS. This car itself is a very it's being raced a lot. It's the Scale Auto Viper. It's very competitive, and the GT3. I'm a GT3 class guy, but this one is a custom chassis that I made, so this is different. It's not doesn't come like this. Another car that is really, really like out of the box, crazy fast, Can-Am level, is the Thunder Slots. So Thunder Slot cars, these are Can-Am cars.
Oh yeah.
These cars, they are just great out of the box. Like they're one of the fastest cars you can possibly pick up. Non-mag, great cars.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah, of course we're doing HO. Yes, sir, Mike. We do it all. HO, 143, 132nd, 124, digital, analog, all by ourselves, Global Racing League.
Yeah, we do Echo. I have Echo too. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna leave you guys out. I'm actually looking at so I was watching Southern Slot Cars. I guess he just released his video on the, what is it called? The four, I'm gonna butcher this.
The four
Uh,
gear.
yeah,
The
the
four
full
gear
gear.
build
And
sedan.
I love the way it came in its packaging, ready to build, like that whole like chassis and body and everything. So I'm looking to pick one of those Auto World kits up.
Yeah, do
Um,
so, bro.
yeah. So I was gonna reach out to you anyway, Dan, and then get where you get your stuff from, because I don't know where to get that stuff from. So but yeah, I think it's the best way to learn about any system is to break apart a car or build a white kit. It really gives you an understanding of how that car comes together and what are the nuances of the car. So that would be my fastest way of learning about HO, because as much as I understand cars, I understand slot cars, the HO world's very different in terms of chassis, in terms of how
Mhm.
it's put together, how your shoes get put on and everything. So I need to learn about that if I want to do more with the HO side of things, right? So
Right. Yeah, and
yeah,
that sort of goes with what you were saying earlier about it seems really simple, but everything has something else attached to it, right?
yeah,
Like it's not just simply, for HO, it's not like when you do your guides or whatever for the larger scale. That's like a little area on the car where you do the shoes, it goes right back, and it can be moved around. Plus, there's the plate that holds the shoes and the commentator.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So for everything, there seems to be something else.
Well, it's just like guide systems on the 132nd. There's so many different guide systems. The
Mhm.
Electric guide system is different from the SCX guide system,
Yeah,
different from the Carrera guide system, different from the NSR guide system. And you're like, oh, if you came over, you'd get confused too. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Like,
that's right.
why isn't it all the same? It's not. Braids are different. Everything's different. So it's the same thing on the HO side. Like, and I enjoy that about hobbies, right? If a hobby was simple, yeah, I don't
It
know
wouldn't
if
be a
I
hobby.
would be. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I need the layers. I need all the layers. So if some layer doesn't work, then I could go deeper and find another layer, right?
Yeah,
And I think that's why I said, like, it should be slot cars, because it shouldn't just be separated by size. I think all of them are cool. Like, I was watching Shen RC today, teaching how to true tires on the 143rd scale cars, right? He was
oh,
showing
with
the,
the sandpaper or whatever.
yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean that's a simple thing that everyone can do, but it's cool to see it done on the 143rd, because most people show you on the large scale or the HO stuff, and 143rd gets neglected. So it's kind of cool to see, like, you can transfer a lot of skills on the different tiers to the different scales, and it makes your hobby that much more robust, right?
yeah.
So I think it's awesome to have all the scales, to have all this variance. It makes the hobby much, much stronger, right? So
I think I agree with that completely.
And when
yeah.
you think about it too, quite a few people actually, since I started doing some larger scale stuff, quite a few people actually have both, or
Yeah.
have used both, or just enjoy, like me, like when I used to just watch the larger scales because of the cars, what they look like, and some of the sceneries, but just the stuff that was to offer from the larger scale setups. HO didn't have that kind of stuff. HO is 100% analog. There's no such thing as digital. Nobody's ever talked about digital HO like the way that Carrera already has in existence. You know,
Well, Scholastic has digital as well. The thing is this though, Dan, like it's okay. So you'll find when you start, when you just get into the hobby, like let's just say I went, like, take Marty for instance, Marty from Two Lines, right? A year ago, like last year, when he got into it, he got a digital set, he got a digital car, and because he had four people that wanted to race, it made sense for him to start racing digital. But if you look at how Marty has progressed to today is an analog racer mostly. He has
Yeah.
a full lane track. It's fully analog, fully non-mag. Like this is the progression that you'll find. Where as soon as you go deeper into the hobby and you want to get to commercial racing, the digital kind of takes a step back, and analog comes to the forefront again. So what Travis was talking about was we need to do more on digital for at the commercial level too. Because
Yeah.
when we show off races, we don't show off races in digital. We show off races on wood tracks, routed tracks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or we show them on 8-lane polycar tracks, right? Like it's not you're not seeing digital racing. You're not seeing pits being used at commercial level racing, right? When's the last time you saw the people like that's the fun about digital racing at home is like getting pits, getting penalties, undercut, overcut, like all these terminologies that they use in racing
Yeah.
do not get into play on the commercial side of racing here when we
Right.
see stock cars, right? And I think that's what we need more of the immersive stuff to come out.
Yeah.
So if and that's a big change for the industry in general, right?
Well, it's definitely something that'll have to happen on the HO side for sure too. But like I was saying, first off, I think before HO does anything other than build more 55 Chevys, they need to make the track wider, at least a half inch, Right now, the cars, these two cars,
Yeah.
they're almost touching when they're going around, so it's pretty close, very close.
Yeah.
So hang on. So when they're on the track, they're literally like a whisper away from each other. It's so ridiculous. But they're getting wider and wider, so the track is probably, that wide. And of course, this is a level 52 and a level 42. Yeah. So bam. Yeah, you see Rick's got a little bit of everything there too. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Most people do or have or know of or enjoy, like watching, all the scales.
Yeah.
I don't see much 124, but I do enjoy watching them run.
124 is a lot of fun, digital especially because you
is.
get a lot like you get a lot of good racing in 124 digital. And it's really good on a 4-lane digital track.
Nice.
So you get a lot of play. But 124, like the detail level is another level too. So
Yeah.
it's like I said, I mean, if you're into cars, it doesn't matter what scale. If you're into cars and you like detail, like I looked at those the new HO cars that the Mustangs and the Camaros, and they look fantastic. They look gorgeous, right? So I want to pick them up, but the problem is finding them too. Availability. Dan, what we're dealing with up here.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. That shipping thing is just out of control.
Yeah.
It really is, And poor Fish, he gets hit hard with it too. Well, you guys all do, really. You really all do.
Yeah.
400 HO and about 61 32s.
Very
Nice.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Have you got any kind of a decent hobby shop near you?
Yeah. Hobby shops are decent, but they don't carry anything to do with slot cars. It's RCs and wargaming and comics. So my hobby shop that's local to me, and I know them really well, is mostly a wargaming, tabletop, card gaming, and collectors. So for comic books and collectibles, that's what they do. So they, stock cars is the closest stock car shop to me is about an hour away. And even then, like they don't carry a lot of stock, and it's just rough. Like I mean, even Sunday stock cars. I mean, the Carrera cleaning truck came out already in Germany. It's come out all over the world, but we haven't got it yet. It's been months, right? Like so, the Lancia Delta has come out already. we still don't have it. I know people like Massimo ordered his from AliExpress, so it came from China, and Sunday Slugcars still hasn't received his shipment. So, that's what I mean about like
Man.
service around the world. But if you go to Europe, like you can be spoiled for choice. Like I said, when I go to visit my family in Barcelona, there's tracks every couple of doors down. There's a track. Every
Yeah.
couple of doors down, there's a hobby shop that does slot cars. So it's like, when you're in Europe, it's a different world altogether,
Oh man,
right?
so nice.
That would be nice. Well, and I say that, but I mean, I got Gym C 20 miles, 20 minutes away. I got like 3 Hobby Lobbies, a bunch of love. So I'm grateful. It could be.
I got no love, brother.
You got a good spot there, Matt. Good spot.
Yeah, I feel blessed. I really do. So, well,
It's your first live, so how was it?
I don't know. How do you guys? I think it went well. What do you guys think?
How do you guys think?
Burger.
Let's hear it in the comments, guys. What do you guys think of tonight's live stream?
Agree, Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know who this guy is. He just sent me an invite. He said, "Here, wear this hat," and before you know it, we're talking slot cars. I don't know anything about slot cars. I tell you what, I fly a plane, a commercial plane, 747s. I'm just here on a stopover, and then we're heading right to the track. Which track, you ask? Well, I don't know. We'll figure it out later. But for now, I want to thank Matt for inviting me tonight. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know why I'm talking like this. I feel like an idiot. Do I look like one?
Tom Cruise, help us with your witchcraft.
Yeah.
No, Matt, you're doing well. This is good. Do you have any plans for how your live stream is going to be structured, or is it just open chat, open forum? What's your plan?
I have one next week. I'll have an interview, but after that, I want to do this same type format every time. I just think it's better for it's better for my channel. It's better for other people's channels, and it's better for the community.
Yeah, cool.
That's what I think. And I had that and Pete earlier today, and you guys, everybody there. I mean, it was very encouraging. Dan's always been very encouraging. Fish has always been very encouraging, and so I feel very blessed and lucky to be part of this community, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, the community is great. Yeah, I know I've live streamed for about a year now, like consistently on a Monday. But for myself, it's just nice I like more collaborations and more being on different people's channels. I think it's nice, and so yeah, I appreciate everyone doing these kind of panels, sort of discussions, because it kind of gets you different points of view. I think, and I think that's most important thing that we need is we need everyone to participate, every scale to participate, and different points of view because that helps us get stronger as a community. I think so.
Yeah, I think Anthony's absolutely got it there. Gives everybody something to look forward to. That's why I always say, try and make sure that you plan your live and you get it out there a few days ahead of time. Unlike me, who has a live tomorrow night and hasn't done crap about it yet. But guys, don't forget to stop by Slot Valley Racing tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where me and Raul will be once again. We'll be fighting to the death. It will be the duel of channels, where none of that's happening. But
you didn't tell me any of this. I think I brought it back.
I'm sorry, I didn't tell you about the crocodile pit, did I? I mean chickens on a wire.
I mean, you got a new mic and all that. I can get a lot closer too.
I just know that Dan's been trying to get me to start streaming on a night for a while, and then I mentioned earlier I kind of I get nervous and anxiety, and then hearing Pete say that he did the first third of his shows, he never showed his face for the first 100 videos.
I remember him saying that too.
And then listening to you, Raul, talk about how you didn't stream very much and you made yourself a goal to do it for a year. So I set myself a goal, and I'll at least stream every Wednesday night with within reason. unless something comes up for the 2024. That's my plan to stream Wednesday nights from Patriot Hobbies, and then we can stream other places other nights. You know.
Yeah, I think it's good. Like for me, stepping back, like stepping away from my live stream is good for me because what it does is it allows other people to step in and give their points of view more, and it allows me to travel across other people's channels because I think that's more important than me just coming up on a live stream every week and getting more and more monotonous. So I just want to step back and take a step back and be more into kind of these kind of discussions. And then Pete and I get along like really well. So us going on a live stream together is almost like me having a chat with any of my friends, and it's like me and Dan now. I think I jump on with anyone. To be fair, it doesn't bother me. I think the main thing, the real funny thing was until we actually connected and got onto each other's live streams. Then I was afraid of Echo. To be honest, I was like, it's a different world, it's an alien world. I don't know it.
Yeah.
And I was afraid that I come on a show and I have nothing to say about in the Echo world. Would it be even acceptable? So it's great that we're having these discussions, and now I'm appearing on so many channels. But it's funny that that's the problem is that we were so separated as a communities, and we need to
Right.
just come more together. So that's great, right?
And I think a part of it, I think actually too, what kind of tripped us up a little bit, because I've been wanting to do this for a while now, but I think the fact that we were both live streaming for like a long time on Monday night at
Yeah.
the same time in specific, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So, when we finally figured out how to make it work, where I just show up with you for a little while and then you come join me in the next week or whatever, it was total genius. And sort of that's what sort of, tripped the ball, and now everything's been rolling, man. And I really, I'm totally enjoying what's been going on lately. So,
Yeah, and that's another reason why my live stream is cool because Dan's there. Anybody who's come to mind can go to Dan now on a Monday night. Like I don't, and I think that's what I'm about. I'm not really,
The
I
communities
just
have merged.
Yeah.
So it's great.
I believe people are watching both streams at the same time. It was just like what Dan with Slotcar with Sunday Slotcar said to me, like, how could you be here in our comments while you're running a live stream right now? And I literally was going to get in your comment section and start commenting, but I would have had to use one of my other aliases, so Jangle or Chop or From Earth to Mars with Elon Musk or whatever. So and also guys, the Starship is getting ready to launch now. If you guys follow space at all, that's the big one from Elon Musk, and I will be streaming it live on Friday. So if you guys want to join me, I don't even give a shit if you subscribe or not. Just come hang out and watch the launch with me. It should be pretty awesome. So pardon me, I didn't mean to swear there, but it should be pretty darn awesome. So anybody wants to come join me, I'll leave a link in the description tomorrow. This is Matt's stream, not mine, so I don't want to impede on that, but we're all here, and this is what's happening. Hey, Slot Car Misfits, we're just heading out right now, brother. We're all saying goodbye.
Hey, Slot Car Misfits. Do you want?
Okay.
Got one more question for you, Dan.
Yeah, I watch Tesla Time News. Yep, absolutely. And I watch, of course, all the streams that revolve around what's going on down there right now. So
somebody was asking about what's the best set to buy for getting to digital. If you're just gonna buy a set, I'd buy the 124 set. It comes with the shoulders, and it allows you to like I think what it's called is start your engines. It's the start your engine set. It's the 124 sets from Carrera Digital, and I mean there's not much of a difference in price. You get the bigger 124 cars, but it gives you everything you need with the borders around your track to get a pretty robust track. That's what I would start with. I wouldn't really start with 132nd. Like the Spirit of Speed is cool and you get 3 cars, but I'd just go on the 124 route and get the shoulders with it.
Right.
Does it come with wire? Does the 124 set come with wireless?
All of them, yeah. Wireless, everything. Yeah.
It's the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah. And the difference in price not that fast. But the real cool thing is you get all the shoulders and it's got a pretty nice track.
The shoulders are actually pretty important with the Carrera too. I've been finding too, because I just watched Johnny Hobby. Yeah, Johnny Hobby. He was doing that. He slowed it down going around the corner, and how important it was to make sure that your edging comes all like farther enough. Because he was literally showing the cars hook their tire on the side of the track when it came around.
Yeah, especially if you go non-mag, you'll need borders right away. Because when you have mag, the cars don't slide as much. But when you go non-mag, the car's completely going drifting around the corner. So yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, Matt, thanks, brother. I absolutely appreciate you having me. I'm awesome time. I love these chats, man. It just seems so easy. You know what I mean? So
thank you guys so much for making this a lot easier. I appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite, Matt. Appreciate it.
Helping me pop my cherry.
Yeah.
You know,
always around if you need us.
Right on. Next one, you do it like 50 cents hanging from the ceiling.
Right. All right, guys. Good night, everyone. Thank you. That was an awesome deal.
Yeah.
Night, Bob.